Hello, Mary Helen Dara with the Taylor Automotive Family Women in the Driver's Seat. Today we are speaking with Amy Stone of the Ohio State University Extension, and we're going to find out how this incredible woman grows, pun intended, our community and the gardens in our area. Hello, I have the pleasure of being in the garden, in a community garden with Amy Stone of the Ohio State University Extension. Could you please tell us, Amy, how you got here and a little bit of your history?
I was just about to graduate from Owens with my associate's degree in landscape and turf management, and my advisor came across this posting from OSU and said, I really think you should apply. It's a grant, it's for a year period of time, but I think you would be great at it. Start to network, get out in the community, get to know people, and see what happens. And 32 years later, here I am.
32 years?
Almost, yeah. It was a wonderful opportunity. I went back to school for my bachelor's and master's while I was working. And in 2000, a position came open here in Lucas County, and I applied for that position and have been in this role ever since.
That's amazing. What exactly is the OSU Extension, and what does a typical day look like for you?
A lot of people ask that. OSU Extension is part of the larger land grant system, really across the nation and here in Ohio. So in Ohio, we have two land grants, Ohio State University being one and Central State University being the other. And the idea is not everybody can go to the university or wants to go to the university, but there's so much power and knowledge and information that they created an extension service, so an extension of that land grant. And so that's what we are here in the counties, to serve kind of grassroots organizations, residents of the county, with research-based information from the university. And I tell people, like, an example would be is if somebody brings in an insect to my office that I don't know what it is, I hadn't seen that before, to identify it, I have contacts at Ohio State in the Department of Entomology, and we work together to serve the residents of Lucas County and the state of Ohio.
Well, now you know.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up. What are a few of the challenges as well as the rewards of doing what you do?
So I think the biggest challenge would be the unlimited opportunities. It's a good challenge, but there's so many things that we could be involved with and we could be doing. And so we engage volunteers to help locally, to help, spread that wealth, spread that knowledge. But it's choosing projects and programs that are really important to the residents of the county to serve them.
Would you encourage others to go into this line of work? And if so, do you have any advice?
Yeah, so absolutely. I'm passionate about plants, and more so about the people with our connection being the plants. But more important, I think, is to find your own passion, and really, whether that's a hobby or a career, push and really strive to make that. Because I think if you love what you're doing, you'll be successful and you'll have fun.
Well, we're not, I know you're outstanding in your field, but in this case, you're outstanding in the garden, and it's a community one at that. Could you tell us, in your opinion, what is so important about having a community garden like the one here at Savannah Area Family Services?
Absolutely, and it starts with the plants. And so, that's how we feed our families, we feed ourselves, we feed our communities. And so in gardening, that could be a pot on somebody's porch or in the window. And then if we get into a community garden, we're growing more plants, more food for the area, but we're also growing relationships. There's nothing better than to be in a garden with somebody else and just talking about life and talking about how they grow plants and what, it's always learning. And so I think that's really the focus of a community garden, is to be a place to gather, but then to grow both food and relationships.
Perfect. Perfect metaphor as well.
Yeah.
I've also seen you on Wednesdays here at SAFS with young children. And I believe I remember having a conversation with you previously about how some kids don't even know where a cucumber is from. So I think that's an important piece too. And
Exactly.
our kids involved a great deal in the community gardens throughout the area?
They are, whether it's at the libraries we're volunteering at, whether it's here at Sylvania Area Family Services. And we also have a 4-H youth development program with extension. And so we're trying to engage youth at a very young age to find that passion. Sometimes it's in agriculture and gardening, and sometimes it's another field, and that's fine. But like you said, knowing where your food comes from is critical. And I think there are some adults that sometimes maybe don't know where their food comes from. It's not just the grocery store, but it's that story behind the grocery store that's really important.
Well, thank you, Amy, for being with us today. And
Absolutely.
we hope, no, well, pun intended, hope things continue to grow.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Amy of The Ohio State University Extension, for sharing your knowledge and your passion about all that grows. Let's hop in the driver's seat and see who's next.